Cool. Good morning. Sweet. Carrie, I got you always on Sunday. You're like you're my go-to girl. 'Cause I know, like at least on Sunday at 3:30, I got Care Bear bouncing here and there everywhere. So I would definitely, Steve, keep TRY, Labu on the list. And then, yeah, I think ATVI will be good, Mr. Steve. And then TRY. Good morning, everybody. How is everybody? What's going on? Eric, how you doing? Jake, what's up? All day, all right. What's going on? Brandon, how are you, buddy? Pleasure. Hey, Sugang, what's up? How are you? Link, let's go, baby. Let's go. Sweet. So, let's take a little look at the general market. We're getting a small gap down in the market. Nothing too crazy, but, you know, like 0.5% or so. We are at that sweet spot in the market where we're nuzzled into resistance, but we're like too strong to necessarily like roll over. And so we're getting into that kind of chop zone. I think one of the hardest things in the market to do sometimes is trade like when it's so overbought, but it also doesn't want to go down, right? So like when we look at overbought, oversold, right, we're always thinking about like, you know, obviously like, you know, oversold, we're more likely to bounce. Overbought, you know, we can often fade back. But when we're really overbought and the market doesn't want to go down, you can't even short that thing. That's like a tricky part of the market that you just have to be careful about. When that happens, right? Like yesterday, that was kind of a little bit of the day, right? When that happens, like where like, see you gap down and you popped up and you came back down. When that happens, the best thing to do is to trade like earnings plays or PR plays. Stocks that like have like that mega volume or like that mega action that will move irregardless to the market. Because, you know, like a regular stock, right, like your regular technical analysis stock is going to move up or down depending on the general market, right? And so then you got to really follow the market a lot. But if you get like a hot earnings play or like a hot PR play, like a CGC or something like that that's got like a PR on it, right, that's going to move irregardless to what's happening in the general market. So the market goes up, market goes down. This one's going to do what it's got to do, and that makes it a much cleaner play when the market's just overbought. Hey, Can't Sleep, what's up, baby? How you doing? So let's talk a little bit about some of the earnings movers this morning. I got this ATHM on watch list. You're breaking down this trend line over here. You've got $10 there of range and that it's already been doing. This one historically has had a good range on it. I'm going to have this on watch for a potential ORB or a quick pullback buy. This one could go either way. One thing to remember, and you know what, this is not a auto home. You would think it's a retail company, but it's not. So it's going to move like a tech company. We saw what happened, those damn retail gap downs yesterday, right? The freaking gap down, they're going to look like they're going to orb, and the little fuckers just went up all day. You know, that's the life of retail. So I put this ATHM, I got this #1 on my watch list. So gang, good to see you. Welcome to join and simulate, right? So if you have a simulator, you know, so anybody who's new that's coming in the chat room, you know, use a simulator for a little while just to get used to how we trade and the style, because it is fast and it's, you know, at times it borders on like overly aggressive and at times it's not. But like if you just get on a simulator and kind of see how the stocks move and sashay around, you're going to have a really good feel for what goes down. Because otherwise, like your first few days, you need to just kind of try. If you follow people's alerts, like you're always late to the party. But if you're trading along with somebody because you understand what they're doing, then it becomes much easier to sustain it and really get going. Taylor-wise on the watch list, somebody announced that they're not going to be unloading all their 75 million shares on the open market. So you got this gap up here, about 20 bucks. I'd be really wary of trying to chase this thing up 20 bucks, but if it starts to set up, definitely keep it on the watch list. As long as it hangs out above this kind of 50 SMA, if you're trying to long this thing and it's under the 50 SMA, even if it looks really hot, it could just get, smacked back down. This thing is a huge turd, right, in the end, and, probably be back in the 60s in no time. But in the meantime, we can catch a nice little run. There's nothing more fun than trading pot runs, right? So, if we can get a few good days out of it, we should. This ATVI is already kind of breaking its trend line on its daily, and you can already see the pre-market range is starting to set. I like this one. It trades a little bit thicker. So this is $46 stock, 37 billion market cap. So you're going to have a pretty high float on it. This one can have a little bit of juice to it too. I got this on watch for potential short. ERGJ, this is a nice range break on the daily. This is some type of defense stock. We got a PR out in the morning. As long as it holds above 2340, I think that we'll be able to get a little shred or ORB on this thing. The key on this one's going to be the liquidity. I don't know if it's going to be in there. We'll have to keep a watch list of that. BBY, yeah, so you could go red to green on this thing. You know what? I was thinking this thing was a short yesterday. We actually took this thing short at the opening candle and covered that at the 9 EMA. And I didn't even see the long on it. This little sucker, it ran. The good thing on something like this too was that the liquidity was awesome. Like in small cap stocks, like oftentimes you can't get real size into it because, there's a spread and the float is low. Because the float's like 100 million on this, when the juice was turned on yesterday, you could get some real size into it. You could buy 100,000 shares if you wanted to and flip it because you have that liquidity. And so there's a handful of stocks that can really give you that. So I would definitely keep this on watch for a potential red to green or a second day play. AMRN too. You had like a monster day yesterday. 32 million shares in volume. You're opening up weak today. I'd watch this one for potential red to green on this thing. You may get one more hot day on it. I think this one's got the liquidity we need to really be able to trade. One thing I try not to do is trade like really illiquid stuff on Fridays because there's no worse way to ruin your weekend than to trade like some turd and then you just get stuck in it or blah 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 blah. Yeah, this CBP, it is fading back. It may not even hold. You might be I don't like when they do this pre-market where they just fade back all the time. But that's what BBY did yesterday, and then just tapped in the 9 EMA and ripped. So what the fuck do I know, right? I think this one you probably keep it on your list regardless. CGC will still be on the list. The one thing is it's up a lot. So when the stock is up a lot and it's already had like kind of that big volume push day, you can't chase it on strength. So like CGC, if it rips to 38.39 and you're trying to like buy flags on it, that trade is probably not going to work as well. But when the stock gets extended, but it's too early to short, but it's too extended to necessarily long and chase on strength, what you want to do is kind of buy into like the big flushes and then like hit them as they do the 1, 2, 3 patterns and then get the rebound and kind of sell into the spikes. So that's the difference. There's stocks that are overbought, right? And there's stocks that are like extended, but they're not necessarily extended enough to short, right? And so you're in that sweet spot where it's got tons of momentum and tons of volume, but it's not ready to short. And so you can't chase it on strength, right? But if you get like big dips on it, you get those dips down into the VWAP or those big dips down into different support levels, and whether you use, right, pivots or Fibonacci's or whatever you use, those can be areas where you can catch the rebounds because the jets are still on this thing. It just happens to be, like, if you try to get it up high, the jets will turn against you both ways. So just be mindful of that. I still got Twilio on the watch list. This is going to break out like any day. It's just a matter of when. Hey, Jace, I saw your trades. I got through your trade journal. If you have new ones, add them in too and just send me a little message. But they were good. Yeah, I still got MBEV on watch list. It didn't break the trend line yesterday, but it's getting close. Oh, yeah, here. And we'll keep this Roku on watch list. Roku needs to hold this 50 SMA here. Now, also this 40 spot. So if you're looking at like it's, if you're looking at its 30-minute chart, you can see like this 40 spot's really, really important. If it holds, we'll probably be able to, get some pate going. But if it doesn't, it's got a little bit of ways to fall. But might not be like a short necessarily because you only got like maybe $1 or $2 of potential room. So I'm still kind of leaning long on this thing. It just needs to shape up a little bit. I think the priorities for today are going to be really this ATHM, TLRY, ATVI. I don't have necessarily a bias on this TLRY just yet. We'll have to let it set up. The one thing I did notice on TLRY yesterday was, man, the friggin' spread on it was like 50, 60 cents. And so, like, if you're, if you're like a new trader, like say I'm buying this thing at like 82.50 or something, right? And you're like a new trader and the spread is like, the bid's at 82.50 and the ask is at 83 and you get all excited and you're like, man, I got to get in this thing, and you market order it, you're going to be sold, you're going to end up with this thing at 83 and you're going to miss all that, potential right there. So you got to be super careful on that. PO, yeah, I'm not sure on this one. This is more your type of thing, Anthony. It looks all right. It faded off all day. Yeah, there's a couple of these. This WBAI also. They just don't have enough volume for me to shred it. Not necessarily volume, but the liquidity sucks on it, is what I should say. It's aight. Any Canadian stocks? Most of these, I think, pot stocks are, most of them are like Canada companies. So you should be able to add like the .tos to them and shred them. Mr. Goldberg, what's going on, brother? What's your fave for today? Sweet. Hold on here. Jacob, try not to goof off too much at work today. I know what you're up to over there. Yeah, Steve, I'll talk to you Sunday. Let's try to get a morning mentorship thing going. All right, guys, it's Friday. You know what we got to do. You know where the action is. Let's go be hot. Let's go be great. Don't trade any retail stocks. AMRN, TLRY, ATHM. And to keep all those, little ETFs and all that fun stuff there too. Good. Yeah, I'd still keep CGC. Just don't chase that sucker. Don't chase it. Cool, guys. Let's go. Let's go make something happen. Hasta mañanas. Hasta luego.